So there was once a time when your local school board meeting was, frankly, a little boring. To cover it as a reporter was a little boring. That is no longer the case. We have seen it over and over throughout the past year. These meetings have started to get a little out of hand at best. This is video, for instance, from Beaverton back in August when a group of people rallied outside a school board meeting. They were mad because they weren't allowed, per COVID protocols, to come inside and speak out against masks and critical race theory, which we need to reiterate is not taught in K-12 public schools in Oregon or in Washington or, frankly, anywhere else. It's not a curriculum. But their protest drew counter-protesters, and people spent hours arguing in the streets outside that school board meeting. And we should mention, this came a couple of months after protesters showed up armed, carrying actual weapons to a school board candidate forum, also in Beaverton. Elsewhere, similar showings have shut down school board meetings completely. Just last month, the Oregon Capital Chronicle reported a meeting in tiny little North Bend, Oregon, was flat out canceled because hundreds of demonstrators planned to flood the building, and police were not equipped to handle it. So broadening this out even further, our sister station in Spokane sent us video from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, where another group, shut down yet another school board meeting. Take a look.
I'm tired of the mask. Go yourself.
All right, ma'am, thank you so much. That was part of that video. So yeah, the list goes on and on. On top of these public protests, school board members say more and more their private lives are impacted. They have been harassed. They have been threatened. They have been followed. They have found people protesting outside their homes. Enter the National School Boards Association and their strongly worded letter to the Department of Justice, calling all of this the equivalent of their words, domestic terrorism and hate crimes. Their letter, sent at the end of September, just last month, opens in a pretty direct way. It says, quote, America's public schools and its education leaders are under an immediate threat. It goes on to ask the Biden administration to deploy federal law enforcement to investigate and prevent these threats. Sounds on the surface like the right thing to do, right? There are threats, you want to stop them. Well, one problem. Organizers of some of the groups who show up to these school board meetings did not appreciate being likened to terrorists. And we talked with one group. It's the Oregon Moms Union. They are a conservative political action group taking on public schools, and they say they are just advocating for their kids.
I honestly feel like parents are frustrated, and they liken moms sometimes to mama bears. And I think that there's a reason for that. I think that parents are really the best advocates for their kids. And I think at this point, they're really frustrated with the lack of acknowledgement of their opinions from school board members. And so I think that's really kind of what we're seeing. And again, I just feel like, we have extremist groups that are terrorizing Portland and places all over the country. But yet we're talking about concerned parents being domestic terrorists.
Okay, so you can imagine they got a lot of complaints like that because the National School Boards Association then put out another letter last week walking back their first letter. They actually apologized for the language they used in the first one, although we should note they didn't specifically apologize for using the term domestic terrorism. They did say they should have reviewed the note better before sending it out. And they also said there is still important work to be done to keep school board members and educators safe. That in mind, we also talked this morning with Brandy Penner. She is on the Newburgh School Board, a group that, as we've reported, has seen an enormous amount of national attention in the last few months. This after the board passed a ban on Pride and Black Lives Matter flags, as well as other what they called political symbols in school. Penner voted against that ban, but the 4 other members of the board who you just saw who voted to pass it are actually now suing their own constituents, saying that they have had their private information posted on social media and they frankly do not feel safe in Newburgh anymore. So Penner says in the 4 years that she has been a school board member, she has seen meetings get a lot more heated.
I too have had to take some measures for my personal safety and my family's safety. And I think that we're hearing that from board members across the state. This isn't, unfortunately, not just in Newburgh, and that with a rise in extremism, we're seeing board members become lightning rods, right, for everything from anti-masking to vaccines to critical race theory, whatever. It's in all the papers. Very clear what we're seeing now is this is a concerted, organized effort across our nation to destabilize public education. And it's incredibly upsetting, and it's not political. I mean, I know people of all different political party identifications who are outraged by what's happening because it's under the guise of some sort of cultural norm or who we are as an America. And it has absolutely nothing to do with the children and the humans in our buildings.
So we do want to hear from you on this. Tell us what's going on in your school district. Have you seen anything akin to this? We want to keep following it. Email thestory@kgw.com or use that hashtag, thestoryKGW.